All right, so on to the third game. We had Memphis Express at the Birmingham Iron. This was actually, I think maybe I was the only one really saying this, but I did see it on social media. It's going to be touted as a defensive battle because you had two defensive-minded coaches coaching these two teams. The Memphis Express ended up getting a goose egg, losing to the Birmingham Iron 26-0. Christian Hackenberg just looked not good at all. He went 10-23 for 87 yards and 1 interception. Luis Perez, he just went off. He went 19-33, 252 yards. He did end up getting that 2-point conversion. The big story about this game was Trent Richardson. He was touted as coming back to Alabama. You know, this is going to be the restart for his career. And that's honestly how I started watching this. Got interested in this league because I heard about Trent Richardson coming back for this particular thing. So he had 23 carries, 58 yards. His longest was 10 yards. He had 2 TDs. But he did have a fumble that luckily his defense, because the Birmingham Iron's defense is just, it's iron. It was holding. But luckily they bailed him out on that. So the Express couldn't store on that. Zach Stacy for the Memphis Express, he had 12 carries, 58 yards, as long as 11. Zach Stacy was working, but Trent Richardson showed that he's going to be a bell cow workhorse for the Birmingham Iron. He's going to get that pressure off of Luis Perez so Luis can stand in that pocket and just command like he did all day long. For the Iron, there's going to be a connection like between Perez and Patton that's going to be there all season long. Dude had 4 receptions, he had 9 targets, he had 107 yards. His longest was 42. Dude was all over the field. Bowman, he got hurt early, but he had 2 receptions for 2 targets, 32 yards. His longest was 17. DeVace Felton, I want to say they call him Turbo. I might be wrong on that one. If I am wrong, put it down in the comments and let me know exactly if that's the wrong nickname. Because the commentators at the time were just trash. I didn't like them. But he had 1 reception for 32 yards. Longest was 32. It was a little short dude, a little about my height. Memphis Express, Alton Pig Howard had 4 receptions, 6 targets, 32 yards, longest was 17. Hackenberg just couldn't get the ball to anybody. He was just checking down over and over and over again. And by the time he actually got the ball out, I mean, he was throwing like the double coverages the entire time. There was blatant times like you could see guys wide open. But by the time Hackenberg saw him, it was too late. It was just completely too late. So for the defensive wise, these guys they had a game. They were shutting down the running backs. They didn't let any points scored. Johnny Massaquoi, he had 15 total tackles, 2 solo tackles. Beniquez Brown, he had 4 total tackles, 2 solo tackles, 1 fumble. And as well as Jamar Summers, he had 2 of 1. He had 3 pass deflections, 1 interception, 1 forced fumble. On the other side of the ball, the defense for the Memphis Express wasn't bad. It was actually really good. It's just that their offense couldn't get any points on the board. And by the time the fourth quarter hit around, they were just like, they're done. Like, they were gassed. DeMarcus Gates had a game though. He had 10 total tackles, 9 solo tackles, and 2 forced fumbles. But yeah, I mean, DeMarcus Gates, I mean, that Express defense is straight up bend, don't break. They got to figure out what they're going to do about, their quarterback situation. I don't think Hackenberg is the answer. For some reason, Brandon Silvers actually came in. He went 1 drive and threw an interception on his first drive, 3 or 4. So that was pretty hilarious to me. Now, the reason why this game was so crazy, because one of the big things that the Alliance of American Football has been talking about is how they're going to have these sky judges. They're going to make the call, make it right, so the guys on the field don't have to make it. They'll be able to see like the angles that we see, all this crazy stuff, right? It's going to be right there in the stadium. Well, there was a big call where it was clear to everybody in the stands, everybody watching, the commentators, everybody on the field, that ball hit the ground. It was incomplete. That sky judge sat there and stated there was not enough evidence in order to overturn it because the judge that was behind the receivers, because from that referee's point of view, he looked like the receiver caught the ball. But if you was looking straight on to where his hands were, that ball hit the ground and then bounced back up to his arms. So when he rolled over, he had it. So he might have felt like he caught it and didn't know it hit the ground, but that ball hit the ground. The sky judge you can hear everything he's saying. It's like, oh, there's not enough evidence to show that it touched it. He didn't have control of the ball because he didn't have control of the ball. Even the guys on the field that he was talking to was like, look, dude, everybody on the field already thinks this is an incomplete pass. Well, they kept the call on the field, said it was a completed pass, and kept it moving. And you can see it in Singletary's face. You can hear the announcers like, dude, well, that's the way the ball bounces. So I expect there's going to be, I don't know what they're looking at. It looked like he's either looking at like a tiny screen or maybe a tablet, but y'all need to get these guys on 4K TVs or something so they can see everything on that field. Because calls like that, I mean, yeah, the game was the Express probably wouldn't have done anything with it, but still though, it's just the fact that they didn't get that call. And maybe they could have rolled that momentum and got some points on the board. It might not have been game changing, but it was still it was pretty bad. It was a bad look, especially with them trying to become a legitimate league and have everybody talking about them. You know that's going to be all over social media for the next couple of days until the next set of games. So it was just a bad look on that judge's part.